Good evening. Welcome to dinner. Sorry, Gibby, cats aren't allowed at the dinner table. That's rule number 1. Hi. Ever since I was young, my mom drilled into me the ways of dinner etiquette. It was super important to her that I learned it when I was young. Her reasoning behind this was, what if you have to eat dinner at the White House one day? My friends told me I would act the exact same at the White House, but it was still important. She also had me set the dinner table almost every night. She claimed it was so I would learn how to do it, but I think it was just because she didn't like how my dad did it, because he set his cup on the left, and that made all of us mad. All right. By the end of my speech, I hope you all know how to set the dinner table, what you're setting on the dinner table, like what forks are used for and what spoons are used for, and some tips and tricks when it comes to fancy dining. So first off, I'm going to tell you how you should be setting your dinner table, because you're probably doing it wrong. Hate to break it to you. So first off, your plate is obviously going to be in the middle. On your left, you will have your napkin, and then on top of that, you will place your fork. This is just the basics. On your right, you will have your cup. This is my favorite cup, by the way. I just wanted to show it off. And you will also have your knife, and this is very important. And when you set it next to your plate, the blade must be facing in, and your spoon will be on the outside of your fork. Now that you know the basics of the setup, you should know what you're even putting on the table. So, your small forks, which I do not have pictured because this is where it's the basics, your small forks will be used for salads and appetizers. Your small circular spoons, not like this oval shape, will be used for soups. Your large forks and large spoons will be used for your entree or your main course. And your knife, if it's a steak knife, will be used to cut meat. If it's a butter knife, will be used to butter the bread. This is a butter knife. And if you're getting really fancy, you're going to have a small fork up here like this. That will be used for desserts. Now that you know all of that, we're going to get into the fun stuff, the tips and tricks of dining. How to look like you know what you're doing when you really don't, especially when it comes to your date's parents, because they always know what they're doing. First off, you want to set your napkin on your lap right off the bat. It catches all your crumbs and makes you look very put together. If you're at somewhere that's extremely fancy, they will put your napkin on your lap for you. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Is it kind of cool? Also yes. Next off, I'm going to tell you where you should be putting your utensils while you're eating. So say you're cutting your food and it's time to take your bite. Your knife will go at the top of your plate parallel, and the blade will be facing away from you. Your fork will go at about 4 o'clock, tines up, facing your food. Your spoon will go at about 8 o'clock, top up, just like that. Sorry. And now I'm going to teach you how to properly cut your meat, because I've seen about a million ways to do it when there's only one. Fork in your non-dominant hand, knife in your dominant hand. Stab your meat, cut on the outside of the tines. Cut one bite at a time. Place your knife down, switch hands, eat the bite you just cut off. Ta-da. And now, if you have a dish, and if you're at like a family dining, you're at home, you have your dishes like Thanksgiving, you want to pass these dishes to the left so they go clockwise. And you should never have your elbows on the table. This is wrong, okay, folks? Unless you are eating a sandwich or finger food. Sandwich, you eat it like this. Finger food, you may eat it like this. But if you are using utensils, do not put your elbows on the table. If this is the only thing you walk away with, I will be happy. And if you're ever struggling to remember what utensils to use, remember this tip. Work from the outside in. Now, if we weren't in the scenario we were, I would have loved to make you all dinner and teach you how to eat in person. However, that's not possible due to COVID-19. I hope that you all get to eat with your families at home if that's your situation. And now, you can nag them like my mom nagged me when I was younger and teach them the ways of dining. And if they ask you, why are you doing this? You can tell them, what if we end up in the White House one day? And if you do end up in the White House in the near future, I'm so sorry. But also, I hope you remember my dining tips and tricks. That you remember how to set the table, what you're using on the table, and how to look like the best eater possible. Thank you so much.